Merch Minds podcast episode 122. My name is Glenn, YouTube channel Hustler Hacks. Yang, what's up?
What's going on?
It looks like you're growing sideburns. Are you growing sideburns?
I've had the sideburns, baby.
Is that a new look?
I've had the sideburns. Elvis doesn't have anything on me.
You look like a little Asian Elvis. I like.
Elvis doesn't have crap on me. I was born with sideburns.
Yeah, maybe they're just, I don't know. It looks kind of like your hoodie and sideburns go all in one.
Dude,
so you just kind of just see like a
I told you, I was born with sideburns.
out of the womb.
That's right.
I've got a lot of merch news. I don't know what's going on with merch lately, but a lot of merch news, merch numbers. We had a good guest.
We have a good guest today. But yeah, like you said, man, tons and tons of merch news lately, especially the last few weeks. Before we get into that, man, let's just give the people our numbers. I can go first. My last 7 days. I am going to go ahead because I just said I'm going to go first.
Please.
My last 7 days, 89. So significant difference from last week.
Okay.
89 sold, 5 returns, product purchases, $1,679.75. Estimated royalties, $336.45. So a big spike. Because remember, last year I was right under $200 in royalties.
Yeah.
So I'm at $336.45 currently. So not bad. So things are looking slightly better. But we'll see.
That was a difference from last week for sure.
Come again?
That was a big difference from last week for sure.
Oh yeah, it's $100 difference, right?
Yeah, you were. I think if I remember, I think you're like right under 250-ish or something.
No, I was like at 195 something.
No,
I was. Dude, I was looking at my numbers this morning.
I think you're like at 220 something.
Nah, man, it was. Go back and listen to the last episode. I was at 195.
I will. Damn it, I'll listen to it and I'll let you know.
You wash your damn mouth, okay? Don't you dare talk to me like that.
All right, mine are pretty bad. 56 products sold, 3 returns, and estimated royalties $165.09.
Wow. Pretty low. Now they've dropped from last week.
I think a little bit, not a lot, but a little bit.
Okay.
I think I was only like at 170 something last week. I think.
You think you'll break $1,000 this month?
No, probably not, because we're already like 15 days in.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the reason I'm asking is because you need to call Time Magazine and tell them that you lied in that article.
Lied.
You're not making $3,000 a month anymore.
Yeah, that came out last year.
It doesn't matter. You still lied. No, I'm just kidding.
But I think I am a little pumped about the news. That could change things, but it also goes back into putting in the time and effort, just like you would on anything. Because FBA, I'm up 50% from last month. FBA.
Wow.
Doing really good this month.
Okay.
But merch it's like something's got to give if I'm putting in more time and effort, but I'm like, oh man.
Okay. Well then, so let's get into the news then, okay? Because there's been a lot of stuff that's been happening.
Not even in weeks, only like days.
Days, right? So I think you have your dashboard open. What's the first one?
Okay, the first one, this one was on April 11th, and it says, yo, get ready for summer. Tank tops, V-necks, and raglans are here. So, more information on styles, fits, and colors will be enabling publishing on a rolling basis starting today on our multi-product creation beta. When an account is enabled, options to select the new product will become available in the product creation process.
So that's great news because tank tops is something that I've wanted for some time now.
Look, everybody, Young predicted tank tops on
April 1st.
And what happened? It came true. So Young's going to put out some more things out there and take it as is. Next thing you know,
some more conspiracy theories, and hopefully they'll come true.
Yeah, just like this one did. So you can thank Young for tank tops.
Absolutely. V-necks, and then we got the raglans. And then there was the other one about the 10 colors.
Oh yeah,
What did
I
that one
forgot
say?
about that one. Oh, that one was the day before. Sorry. To offer customers more options, you can now select up to 10 colors when publishing products through a multi-product creation beta.
Okay, so instead of being limited to 5, we now can choose 10.
10.
Okay. So good news on that as well. Now, although I think it's not going to make too much of a difference, in my opinion, because I think some designs don't look good on all the colors, right?
Yeah.
Like for instance, if a design is made specifically for like a dark color shirt, it's not going to look right on a light color shirt. So and vice versa.
Yeah.
So
So you got to do it pretty much again or create the different
yeah. So
options.
just use your common sense and your best judgment there. And then just today, we got another announcement in the dashboard about pop sockets, which I didn't even know about until someone had messaged me and they were asking me for my opinion, and I was like, I haven't even seen it. I logged in, and what did that message say?
In 30 days, we will launch a new policy under Section 3.251 Designs and Descriptions. We'll continue to add the product name to product titles, but the policy 3.7 pop sockets brand name usage will restrict any other use of the pop sockets brand name or variations. After the new policy is published, we will begin rejecting submissions identified to have references to the PopSockets brand during the review process.
hmm Okay, so that to me, again, I don't have any inside scoop or anything. This is just my own personal opinion. It sounds to me like they're no longer going to be printing on pop sockets. Sounds like they're probably going to find another type of product that's very similar to a pop socket.
Yeah.
Um, um, and this kind of goes back to what, several months ago. Remember, there was our article about how there was a big feud with between pop sockets and Amazon. Again, I don't know how accurate that article is, but this sounds to me like they're going to replace pop sockets with something that's very similar to what a pop socket is.
Yeah. Some
Um,
off brand,
some off brand. That's the way that I'm interpreting that.
yeah, random
Um,
thing.
so interesting. So very interesting. Um,
The only thing is that just like with everything else, this is the thing that frustrates people the most when it comes to merch are the policy changes. Because when you're heavily invested and you have thousands of items that have one word in that product description, you got to go back and change all those listings.
every
And
single one. Yeah, yeah. And I think this is where Merch Wizard comes into play, right? I think with Merch Wizard you can make those changes pretty quickly and significantly. Um, but yeah, no, you're absolutely right. For people that don't use third party apps like that, it's a pain in the ass to go in and make all those changes one by one. Um,
I
so
think someone had said like, I didn't even know you could use, the name pop sockets in the description and all that. Or I mean, if it's a bullet points
if if I
description, they're
if I
gonna,
recall, you were allowed to use the word pop socket, but they were very particular in the way you spell it, right? Like the
yeah,
P had to be capitalized. Well, number one, it had to be one words, right? It had to be one word. Like it can't be two words. It can't be pop, and then it can't be socket. You have to combine both words, and they're very particular in the way that you spell it. Like the P has to be capitalized, and then the first S in sockets had to be capitalized. So
yeah.
they're very particular in the way that that they wanted you to spell. But it sounds like they're getting away with pop sockets again. That's just the way that I'm interpreting it. I don't have the inside scoop.
So I wonder what it's gonna
Um,
be called. Like just like a
I do know.
stylish.
I do know that they have off brands. I don't know what they call it.
Yeah, I don't know what they call them.
I do know that they have off-brand. So it'll be really interesting to see what happens here in the next couple of months. Other news, let's see. I'm going to be in Orange County this week. I know originally I said it was going to be last weekend, but remember I had my dates all mixed up. It is going to be this week. I'm flying out Thursday, and then I'll be returning next Monday. So if anyone is in the Orange County area and you guys want to do a meetup or anything like that, just let me know. Hit me up on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, on Glenn's channel, whoever. I don't
Buy
care.
Young a beer.
So yeah, so that'll be this weekend. And just one thing, someone sent me a message and they asked me if I thought merch by Amazon is a sustainable business, and I haven't responded to them yet because I wanted to answer this on air.
Oh, interesting.
Okay. Well, first of all, let me get your opinion on this, okay?
You're gonna ask me.
No. Here's the thing. I think I've pretty much voiced my opinion on what I thought about merch by Amazon. It's not me hating on merch, um, um, but I feel like you haven't really voiced your opinion on what you thought about merch by Amazon. In your opinion, is merch a sustainable business?
I'm gonna say no, and I'm gonna say no, not only just for merch, but just in general. I don't think it's a sustainable business because we're not 100% in control. But it's hard to say because anything you want to do, whether it's Etsy, Amazon, merch by Amazon, even FBA and eBay and everything, like whatever changes they make, if you know how to continually make those changes and go with the platform and then exceed and excel from that and do well, it can be. But for the most part, I'm going to say no. Like if you have all these other factors coming into play, like if you really have to be dedicated to this and grow it, from nothing being at 10 tier and move your way up. I mean, if you have the mindset of you're like a newbie and you're asking this question, I think it's different than like if you've been in it for a couple of years and you're asking this question. I don't even think you really would be if you've been in it for a couple of years, because then you probably have seen all the ups and downs with this platform and the rule changes, policies. That's what I'm gonna say.
Okay, no, that's a good answer. So I think for the most part, I think everyone knows where I stand with merch by Amazon. I love the platform. It continues to be my number one side hustle. But is it a sustainable business? I agree with Glenn in the sense that it is not a sustainable business because of the lack of control. What do I mean by lack of control? Amazon controls. They control all the data. They have all the customer data, and we don't keep any of that, right? As a business owner, we should be able to control all that stuff, all that data. But with merch, and it's not just even merch, it's FBA, it's anything that's related to Amazon. We don't have any control, right? So with that said, and again, let me just reiterate this. It's not me hating on merch. You guys know how much I enjoy doing merch. This is just real talk, okay? But I think the first thing you got to do is you have to define what success is to you, right? Everyone has a different definition of success, right? Like I've openly stated, okay, that I want to make 10K a month on a consistent basis, right? That's always been my goal. Now with merch by Amazon, I came to realize it. Chances are it can't be done, because let's think about this, okay? You think about the thousands and thousands and thousands of people doing merch by Amazon, right?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I only know a handful of people that are consistently doing 10K a month,
That
right?
we know
And
of.
that we know of, okay? And there's probably a bunch of people in the shadows, that they're not very vocal. They're probably doing 10K a month. But out of the thousands and thousands of people that's doing merch, we only know of a handful. I would say maybe a good 5% of people are probably finding success
Like
with merch.
10K or more.
Again, whatever their definition of success is,
Okay.
right? That just happens to be my definition of success. Um, so I think, again, and we've said this probably 1,000 times now. I think, including merch, you should really, really start experimenting with other marketplaces, right? We talked about Etsy, we talked about Redbubble, and there's a bunch of all these other sites that I can't even remember because
Talked
there's so
about
many of them,
YouTube.
right? Right? What was that? YouTube?
We talked about YouTube. You're like, I'm not getting into that.
What are you talking about, man?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Um, so, so there's all these other platforms, and we kind of even talk about that with today's guest, Zach Knickerbocker. And he talks about how he's leveraging his designs and using OrbitKit to upload to different platforms and whatnot. And here's the thing: even if you make a couple of $100s on those other platforms, that's still income that you never had before. So, to answer the question, is merch a sustainable business? It is not. You should definitely, including merch, definitely experiment with other businesses. Other platforms. But not just that. I mean, there's other things you can do besides print on demand, right? Um, and I've talked to a lot of the leaders in the community. It sounds like a lot of them aren't focusing on merch these days. They're finding success in other platforms. Um, so I would highly encourage you guys to look elsewhere. I'm not saying quit merch. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you're probably not gonna. I'm sorry. Look, if I'm bursting your bubble, I'm sorry, but you're probably not gonna fulfill whatever your goal is on merch.
Young told me to quit merch.
I did tell you to quit merch.
He said he didn't want me in any more magazines.
I did say that. But
our guest is actually pretty happy about merch, and he's been putting in a lot of time and effort into his design.
I'm happy about merch too. Absolutely. But yeah, you're right. Today we talked. This week we talked to Zach Knickerbocker. Great guy. Actually works for Amazon, but he also, he side hustles on Amazon as well. So, and he's found success in a year and a half just on merch. The guy's making some serious money. He's going to tell us all about it, how he did it, who's designing, what's designing, all that stuff. He'll get into it. All right, guys, we have an awesome guest today. My man, Zach Knickerbocker. Love that name. Just real quick, Zach, are you a New York Knicks fan? Because that fits exactly where you're at.
No, I really should be. I think if I just had to choose randomly right now someone to support, I'd go for it. But
dude, if I were you, man, I would walk down, because you live in New York City. If I were you, I'll walk down to MSG right now and say, look, this is my ID, this is my real name. I want lifetime tickets. That's what I would do if I were you.
At least a steak.
I'm just joking, obviously, but hey, welcome to the show. Give us a quick introduction of who you are, what you do, and everything. I think most people know, but for the people that don't.
Yeah. So my name's Zach. Last name's Knickerbocker. It's kind of unique. I live in New York City. Been here for about 2 years, and it's sort of at the same time I moved, I started my whole entrepreneur journey. It was my first experience with selling anything online. So I sort of started with the FBA side of things. And about 6-9 months into it, I jumped into merch. So I've been doing merch for about 1.5 years now. And I have a day job. I'm a software developer. And then merch is just a side hustle.
Mm-hmm. Now, as you mentioned, you are a software developer. Are we allowed to say who you work for as a developer?
Yeah. So I happen to work for Amazon. Nothing merch related. I'm a developer on the front end of the site. We have completely separate stuff, but so all opinions are totally mine. Just kind of a funny coincidence.
Yeah, actually, I don't know. So we met in Seattle, and then you attended the mastermind event that we had in Orange County early last month. I don't know if you remember or not, man, but I'm just gonna throw it out there. The last night at dinner, Harris and I, we were trying to get you drunk because, look, man, we know this guy has some secrets. Let's get him pissed drunk, and he's gonna tell us everything. Do you remember that?
At the Orange County thing?
At the last night at the dinner. Remember, we were like, dude, we know you want to drink.
I remember explicitly not drinking.
Well, yeah, because you were like, no, I gotta play.
Yeah.
But Harrison and I, we swore that you knew secrets and we're just trying to get it out of you. But,
but dude, no, man. So much is like machine learning these days that it's like even developers don't know what's going on.
I know. Yeah. But no, I mean, obviously we were joking with you. We're just kind of giving you a hard time. But so cool, man. So let me ask you, man. So you work for Amazon. You're a developer, and that's a career-minded job. I'm sure you make decent money. Number one, what made you want to get into FBA? And then number two, what made you get into merch?
Yeah, so I got into FBA because I was looking for some sort of entrepreneurial thing I could do, right? So like my long-term ambition is entrepreneurial. And in the short term, I knew I wanted to sell something online and to sort of stay away from like competitive things with Amazon itself. Like I don't want to go start a storefront because like working for a retailer and then having my own retail shop on the side is a little bit odd. I just want to avoid that. So I figured, hey, if I just sell at FBA, like that's something that Amazon itself supports their employees doing. And it keeps me out of like, anything that would violate my employment agreement. So that's how I got into FBA. And then since then, merch is kind of the same story, but merch attracted me just because it had that design aspect. I've always been into design. I've been a web developer for much longer than I've worked at Amazon. It's sort of a passion. So that was an easy transition for me.
Mm-hmm. So did you stop FBA period to go into merch, or you're still doing like a little FBA on the side?
It was at first it was very much like a 50-50 thing, and then slowly I just kind of realized merch would take over and I stopped FBA, but it took like 9 months to run out of inventory. Like it just took forever.
I know it's nuts, man. I mean, for the longest time when I was doing FBA, I mean, I hadn't sourced in like a half a year and still things were just selling. And at one point I just like, you know what? I just got to have everything shipped back to me. Because I was getting charged for all these little, all these fees and stuff. So I was like, you know what? I just got to empty out my inventory. And I know Glenn just recently got back into it, and I've been thinking about getting back into it as well. But that's a whole nother topic, right? I mean, we're here to talk merch and whatnot. So what tier are you on?
Yeah, I think I'm on the 12,000 tier.
Good stuff, man. Year and a half, and you're already in the 12K.
Yep.
See, I'm not gonna mess with you, dude. I'm not gonna lie. I think you got some secret sauce that you need to share with us right now, immediately.
Exclusive to the podcast.
That's right, dude. I'm not messing around no more, dude. I know you got some sauce. No, but seriously, that's good stuff, man. And 12K tier. You obviously answered my other question, which was, are you outsourcing or doing your own designs? And it sounds like you're doing your own designs, huh?
Yeah, for the first year I did entirely my own stuff, including some like basic artwork, and then RJ sort of inspired me over the past 6 months to outsource the illustrations. And so I've started just buying like really high quality illustrations. I have one designer I just work with for that, and that's been really good.
Sure.
So how many hours, I guess, would you say per week you're putting in to your merch business?
Yeah, traditionally it's somewhere between 20 and 30 hours.
Okay.
23 hours a week?
Yeah. This year it's been a little less, just as I kind of rework some things in my personal life. But yeah, last year was 20 to 30 hours a week.
So after work, you're pretty much like full merch mode then. I mean, quite a bit of time into creating designs. What did you like most about the merch part? I guess not having inventory, or the design part, a little mix?
Yeah, the inventory side of FBA was fun for a bit, and then it just kind of got stressful when it came to like packages getting lost. Like, you send like a whole box of inventory to FBA and then it just disappears and you have to go through all the seller support and stuff. That was a nightmare. Like merch, you don't really have those nightmares, which is very nice. It's just been a little bit more stress-free. And like the design process of merch is something I find to be pretty therapeutic almost.
Yeah.
Sure. But, so let me ask you then, Zach, because I find so you obviously have developing skills and whatnot, but and I know you said you wanted to get into like the whole entrepreneur side of working. What made you want to do ecom? Because I think as a developer, you can easily be an entrepreneur just coding for other people, right? I mean, did you just specifically want to get into ecom for some reason?
Yeah, that thought crosses my mind a lot. It kind of comes and goes in terms of like figuring out where I want to dedicate my time in the years to come. But the reason I got into ecom originally was because like for a while I did programming projects on the side, and one thing I struggle with is like when you're programming all day and then you come home and you program all night, you kind of get burnt out.
I know. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So where I'm at now, where you have programming during the day and then the creative like merch stuff at night, it's a really, really nice balance of like logic and creativity. And then the other half of it is ecom attracted me because there's kind of this new age of like YouTubers and people who are creating products and selling them to their audiences. So like fitness influencers will create clothing brands or pre-workouts or some sort of product that they can kind of get produced like white label, where they just say like, hey, make me this, and then they brand it and sell it. And I just thought that was cool. It inspired me to do something like that on my own, and merch being t-shirts is, one way to do that.
Mm-hmm. How was your, how was it, your journey? I mean, now we know merch, a lot of people like saying, hey, I'm struggling, this is going on with merch. And I think at least following like your Instagram and your story, even when we talked in Seattle, I mean, it seems like, you're putting in a lot of work. You're seeing the results for the most part that I can see. How has it been, in the last 3 months or so for you and your business?
In terms of like merch,
I guess like in sales and your general, feeling about it.
It's actually really positive. I was thinking about this morning. I think this time last year in 2018, there was a lot of just stress in the community about how sales weren't what everyone expected it to be. There's the feeling that merch is quickly becoming very saturated. And I think fast forward a year now, my feeling is more so that a lot of people have quit. And that's very anecdotal, but just like based on what I see in the communities and the people I talk to, and sort of like just the lack of discussion that's going on relative to previous years, I feel like people have kind of capitulated a little bit. So like if you're in merch now and you're going hard, I think it's going to pay off disproportionately. And like digging a little deeper into that, I think more so than ever, I'm really bullish on holidays. And they just like if you're hitting holidays and you're getting shirts that are working in those holidays, just like as the years pass, it seems like they just get stronger and stronger and stronger. Like having an old catalog, especially with reviews, is just so powerful. So like, I'm excited for it. I feel like there's still plenty of opportunity here, and if you're going hard.
Yeah, no, I think, look, I'm not going to lie. I mean, obviously, if you've been listening to the podcast for a while, the last few months, I've been really down on merch. Only, kind of like you said, because a lot of people feel like it's saturated, and my numbers have declined, right? But it's one of those things where I know if I put the time and effort into it, I'm sure I can make it grow. But I haven't put the time and effort into it because, again, it kind of goes back to the numbers, right? Where I'm like, oh my gosh, man, stuff isn't like what it used to be, So for the people that's just getting into merch, like give them some tips, like some advice. What can they expect? What do they have to do to make decent amount of money, right? And everyone has their own definition of what decent amount of money is, right?
Yeah.
What's some advice that you can give them?
So this is a little bit higher level, but the thing that's working for me right now, like to your point, is if I go after a holiday and I take that holiday and I niche down. So like instead of going after Valentine's Day, right, I go after like art teachers who have Valentine's Day,
Sure,
or looking for a Valentine's Day shirt, whatever. If I go into that sort of like sub niching approach for a holiday and I invest the money into a really high quality design, which for me is outsourcing the illustration and then me doing the typography, which is something I'm good at, then it just does disproportionately well. Like I put out, 20 to 30 Valentine's Day shirts, which isn't very many, but they all did great, and it made February a really good month for me. So I think if you're focused on quality and you're doing the research to niche down, that's where there's opportunity. So for someone new, like obviously that's not something that they can really just take and run with because it takes a fair amount of experience. But I think if you approach this with the understanding that there's going to be like a 1-year runway to really figure it out, and you're comfortable with that, you don't get all stressed out about not having immediate results. And then you couple that with really being design oriented, paying for high quality fonts, paying for illustrations, then you'll be on the right path. I think if you're going to approach this as somebody who doesn't have any sort of design background and you're just outsourcing to like a VA that's going to do a design for $4, like I think that time is kind of past.
That's what we've been saying for some time now. No, exactly. Now you've been doing Etsy, and the reason I know that is because I've been following your Instagram. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I love Etsy. So far, I've just kind of had a general store where I just pump out pretty much everything that goes on merch just goes onto Etsy as well. And it is all right. Like I have a pretty good process for automating most of that, so it's time efficient for me. I think for most people, it's probably makes more sense to go for like a niche down store and just kind of build something long term. But yeah, Etsy's a lot of fun. I think like maybe starting fresh, Etsy is almost a better opportunity than merch for making money.
I think right now Etsy is a better opportunity than merch currently. That things could change, obviously, but I think right now Etsy is a better choice.
Yeah, I mean the margins are great. There's a lot of there's lack of competition. Like there's a lot of good niches you can go into. You don't quite need the like gaudy, super realistic, like fancy graphics that you do on merch. You can kind of go for more like typography, cutesy type stuff. But
sure. Are you cross posting? Are you cross posting the same designs on merch that's on merch to your Etsy store, or do you just have unique designs on your Etsy store?
No, I just cross post.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think with also Etsy, you don't have to worry about, of course, like the tier level and moving up when you're just starting out. So, there's some benefits, I think, to both sides. What are you adding anything new now that we got new products for merch? Have you tested that out yet, or do you have access to that yet? Maybe I should say.
I haven't checked in the past day or two if I got access.
Okay.
But I have the new uploader, so in theory, I should get it soon, hopefully.
Okay. Are you pretty pumped about the new products, or are you ready? You already have designs ready?
No, man, I'm pumped, I guess, but I'm also kind of just stressed out because I don't know what to do. Like,
what do you mean?
There's a part of me that wants to do. It's a lot of work, man. Like, either I port everything into those new products, which takes forever, or I go out and research new designs for those products specifically. But either one is like a lot of work, and I already barely have time for everything else, so it's kind of stressful.
I don't know about you, Glenn. I don't even have the new uploader yet.
Oh, you don't have the new uploader yet? Oh, that's interesting.
Do you have it, Glenn?
I have the uploader, but I don't have the new product.
What the hell is going on?
I mean, I think tanks are probably the thing I'm most excited for, just because I've seen how well those do on Etsy.
I've been asking for tanks for a long time, so yeah. So when I saw that, I was really pumped. So I'm really excited, especially with summer right around the corner. The Raglins, yeah, they're okay.
Yeah.
V-necks are cool, I guess, but I'm more excited about the tanks for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I think V-necks can just be like a solid, like extra money in your pocket, kind of the same way premium shirts are, maybe. And the raglans I can definitely see doing well in like the sporty niches. Like I've noticed on Etsy, if you're in like the baseball niche, a lot of what's selling is raglans over there. So kind of niche specific.
So going back to your Etsy store, is it just t-shirts, or are you doing hoodies, tank tops, mugs? You doing all kinds of stuff, or is it just t-shirts?
It's all apparel. I don't sell any mugs, but I have my listing set up to just kind of have like a bunch of stuff under one listing. So I just have like shirts, tanks, hoodies. I think that's it. And then for each gender.
So let me ask you then. So again, we know that you work for Amazon and you have a real successful career, but you're obviously now doing print on demand. What are your goals with print on demand? I know you mentioned that you want to be an entrepreneur. You want to be your own boss at the end of the day, but like you must have some goals, right? Like, like I want to, make X amount of dollars per month and then quit my day job. Is that your goal, or?
Yeah, I think something to that effect with a twist. Like I think my real goal is financial independence.
Sure.
And my day job is a big part of getting there, but at the same time, I don't want to be in a position where I just quit my job and then don't really know how to make money. So I kind of have this nice runway while I still have a job and I'm doing fine with it, where I can kind of just learn how to make money online. Because I think that's a pretty transferable skill where like if in print on demand, I learn how to make money, how to do market research, etc. Then in the future, I can apply that to something else. But for the moment, it's just like that skill building.
And do you have a certain amount that you're trying to make, I guess, per month on print on demand, like actual, net profit?
Yeah, I had that like 10K per month figure in my head for a long time.
That's my goal. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
That's my
good
goal.
one.
And where are you at? I mean, if you don't mind me asking, where are you at right now, or maybe your journey and where you've kind of grown?
Yeah, consistently. So I started off kind of the first year, I got up to like $800 a month at the end there in Q4. And in this past Q4, I broke 10,000, which was awesome.
Nice.
I was kind of like, holy crap, this is possible. But of course, like, it's post Q4 now and it's way down. But I'm at like a couple grand a month. It varies a lot. On better months, it's closer to maybe 5K. But
oh man, you're doing much better than some of us. So what's going on with your YouTube channel, man? I checked it out right before we went on there. Looks like you haven't posted any videos in a few months, but you're really active on Instagram. I know that. Is your YouTube channel something that you're going to start doing again, or what's the deal?
Yeah, I'll pick it back up. Generally, like Instagram was the same way for me. When I approach things, I kind of take a first stab at it and kind of fail. Take a second stab and it's kind of different, kind of falls off again. And then usually like the third try, I get it right and have a process that I can repeat. Because like the problem with YouTube for me, this past iteration was just that it takes so much work to put out a video. Like I'm sure you guys know exactly how that goes.
Dude, man, that's one of the main reasons why I don't do it. And, Glenn knows this, right? Because, I bitch about how even putting out a 5-minute video, it can take like an hour to edit, right?
Yeah, the editing's terrible.
And I know Glenn, obviously as a designer, he's like a perfectionist. Like if you watch his videos on his channel, like everything's on point, right? The graphics, the fade in, the fade out, everything's on point. And Glenn, be honest, something like a 5-minute video, something like that, how long does it take you to edit?
Yeah, I mean, I do like my new format. I'm trying to keep them all the same length, like 10 to 13 minutes. And usually it'll take me maybe like a good like 35, 45 minutes to get it because now that's only over time, right? To like get it done. But when I first started, it was like an hour and a half, and then it got easier over time.
Sure.
But yeah, it's like you have to really like it too. And if you don't like it, or I know people just hate the editing part, even hate the video part, then it's like, yeah, it's not for me. Move on to something else. And
yeah. I mean, I know people have been asking for more content from me. I personally don't understand why they would want to hear from me, but people have been asking for more content from me, and I'm just like, I don't know if YouTube is the right platform for me. I really enjoyed the whole podcast thing, though. But yeah, man, get back on YouTube, man. We want to see more of you, man.
Yeah, I'll give it another shot. I just gotta find that process that works. I'll get a spark of inspiration someday and just go at it.
Yeah. Tell us about the pinball machine in the back, man. What's going on with that?
Yeah. My dad had a couple arcade machines for a while when I was growing up, and they moved. They had to get rid of them, and I basically just inherited that rather than have it be sold off. So that's the story. Yeah, it works. It's a lot of fun.
Do you have to do like a lot of maintenance on it, or not really?
There was a little maintenance to kind of fix some things that had broken over the years. Now it mostly works, but yeah, stuff breaks all the time because it's.
So you got yourself a straight bachelor pad, man. You're in New York City. You got a pinball machine in your pad. Do you live by yourself?
Yeah, right now I do.
Oh man, you live by yourself, dude.
He's living life.
Dude, that's a good life. You know, you're making money working for Amazon, and then you're working, and then you're making money side hustling on Amazon. Dude, got the best of both worlds, man. Hey,
yeah.
Thanks for being on the show. I know I messed up last week. You were Zach was originally scheduled to come on last week, and I double booked. That was my fault. It's on me. I'm a man. I can admit to something like that. So I apologize, man. But let's link up soon, man. You know how I am with networking and all that. So maybe behind the scenes we can work together.
Yeah, I'd love to talk more, and 100% no problem with scheduling.
Yeah, man. Yeah, no doubt. Thanks again.
All right, great guest. Definitely someone we're going to talk to behind the scenes. I want to just also keep up, see what he's up to, see if he tries these new products, and really see his growth the next couple of months. Because, I mean, like he told us, he's putting in quite a bit of time. I mean, we really think about it, 20, 30 hours. I mean, that's kind of like what you're doing for other stuff.
He said that was last year, but I'm sure he's still putting in some significant time compared to us, obviously.
Yeah.
No doubt. No, I mean, there's a reason why he's, making $5,000 a month, because he's putting the time in. I mean, I guess that just tells me that I got to put some more time and effort into it. The thing is, right now, I've been working on some other projects that you and I had talked about behind the scenes. I've been really, really busy with that. So hopefully I'll get back into the merch mode. I mean, I'm still doing merch, but hopefully in the next few weeks I can tackle merch again and dedicate some real time to it. But right now I have other projects that I'm working on.
Yeah, very true. Random question. Are you a Game of Thrones guy?
Oh gosh, you know what? You guys are gonna kill me for saying this. I have not watched a single episode of Game of Thrones.
Either have I.
Really?
I've never seen one episode.
I've been meaning to go back because I know it's a great show and all that. I mean, someone told me, just imagine watching every episode. They said it's like a movie. They said every episode is like watching the movie, and I believe it. I'm sure that the quality of each episode is really good. I can't find the time to watch it, man. And I guess I understand that this is the final season. But it's just, man, I mean, between everything that I'm doing, I don't have the time to sit there and just watch, go back and watch every single episode. One of these days.
Yeah, maybe one of these days. I mean, people have been telling me too, everybody that does watch it, I mean, obviously likes it and says that it's good, but it's the same thing. Because even unfortunately, watching like a movie or anything else, like I start thinking about stuff, and like instead of just even relaxing, focusing on like the movie, I start thinking about like what else I could be working on right now.
Yeah.
And that kind of sucks too, but maybe I need to like chill a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? If I can find a weekend where I'm not doing anything, maybe I'll. Again, I know that it's a great show. From everyone that I talked to, they said it's one of the most amazing shows on there right now. But yeah, with my schedule right now, I just don't have the time to do anything like that.
Maybe when you retire and you're like old, or older, I should say.
Look, I'm only 28. Damn it, okay.
That's a lie. You know it.
I'm only 28. But cool, man. Anything, dude? What's going on with your dog?
I know, dog got sick.
What happened?
I don't know. He started. Well, he's just kind of throwing up right now. Well, throwing up and a little mix, but vet get him some fluid, some medicine. We're gonna give him tomorrow. Hopefully, he's back to 100%. Not the pug, but the other one. The pug is like he can eat whatever he wants. He does whatever he wants. He's fine. But the other one's a little bit sensitive. He's like a white Shih Tzu mix with something. I don't know what he is exactly.
That's funny. Well, you know what's funny? So my dog, today's Monday. Yesterday, so Saturday night, I go to bed, and then and he's fine, right? Sunday morning, I wake up and the left side of his face, my dog, is all swollen, right? I'm like, what the hell? It looked like someone had punched him or something, right? And so I'm like touching his face, make sure, to see if he's in pain. He seems okay though, man. It's like, he's not sensitive. It doesn't hurt him when I touch it. I looked in his mouth to check his teeth. Everything's intact. He seems happy. His tail's wagging. So I'm thinking he probably had like an allergic reaction to something.
Yeah. You think maybe like a bee sting or something, or like a weird sting?
I don't think it's a bee sting, but I've been monitoring him. I've been watching him. It hasn't gotten worse, but no, if it does get worse, I'll definitely take him to the vet. But he's looking pretty good though.
Okay, well that's good. You never know. Random stuff happens.
Dude, those vet bills are no joke. Seriously.
I know. They don't play around.
He got hit by a car a few years ago, man. The payment, that was a used car.
Well, especially California stuff. I wouldn't.
I'm not even joking, man. What I had to pay to the vet was a damn used car.
Man.
But well, keep us posted on the dog, man.
Yeah, sounds good. I also got my car back, so that helps.
Good stuff, man. So everything's looking good.
Well, not the dog being sick, which happened like last night into today. So I got the car back. Now the dog's sick. So one thing led into another one.
Yeah.
All right, so man. Next week, I don't know who we're gonna have for a special guest, but we'll let you guys know.
That's right.
All right, see ya.